Hi there, James Savage from National Club Golfer down here at Moor Allerton Golf Club today, and I want to tell you about some brand new irons from TaylorMade. These are the P760 irons, which are replacing the P750 and P770. Let's check these out. Okay, so why have TaylorMade introduced the P760 irons? Well, as I said, these are actually replacing the P750 and the P770 irons. The P760 actually stands for the blade length, so it actually makes sense that this actually sits in between those two irons that they had out last year for the last 2 years. So the P760 I think is something that's just, like I say, replacing two irons, because maybe there was a little bit of confusion over whether or not the P750 was for you or the P770. So they've just made it really simple now, just with this one iron, which is really going to suit a lot of tour players and a lot of low single figure players. But it's going to be very interesting to see whether a mid-handicap like me can actually use these, but we'll test those out in a bit. Let's have a little look at some of the technology in these clubs. Okay, so as I said, P760 are replacing two iron models, the P750 and the P770. And something that TaylorMade have actually done with this P760 set is they're trying to remove the need for a combo set, because we did see some tour players maybe using a combination of the P750, P770. We see people like Rory McIlroy using the P730s and then the P750s in some of the longer irons. So what they wanted to actually do is they wanted to make a progressive set. Now what does that mean? Well, it actually means that in the shorter irons, the pitching wedge 9 iron, 8 iron, they're more like a classic compact blade, just sort of like a lump of forged metal that's going to offer loads of workability and a really nice smooth forged feel. But then from the 7 iron up to the 3 iron, they've actually incorporated some of their sort of hollow body and their speed foam technology, like we saw in the P790 irons, where you can see we've got the screw there. That's where they sort of inject this speed foam, and that sort of improves that sound and feel. So they're kind of getting the performance benefits of a hollow-bodied club. Maybe a little bit of extra ball speed, a little bit of extra distance, but you're also still getting that really nice sound and feel from that speed foam technology. So hopefully you're just going to get that really nice sort of workability, sound and feel with the shorter irons. But the longer irons, a little bit more forgiveness, keep those gaps consistent right there up to your 3 iron. So I think that TaylorMade are thinking they're going to get lots of tour players just putting this one set in the bag, and rather than mixing and matching them. So that's the tech. Let's go and hit them out on the course. Really good shot that, actually. Yeah, so I'm just hitting some shots here from the 25th hole at Moor Allerton. I've got an 8 iron here, about 130 yards, a little bit of breeze today, and I'm really enjoying that sound and feel off these more compact shorter irons. A massive difference actually between the shorter irons and the longer irons in terms of that sound and feel, so that's really interesting to see, and I'm really happy with the results. So I'm just going to carry on hitting a few more shots from here, and then we're going to have a look at some of the numbers. So, all-important question, how did the new TaylorMade P760 irons perform? Well, hitting loads of shots out on the course here at Moor Allerton, and a little bit of launch monitor testing that we did the other day at Leeds Golf Centre, just to kind of get some data. So let's start with the data first. Now these are some numbers I've got here, which we're just putting up on screen from hitting the 6 iron. I was really impressed with these numbers actually. I really enjoyed hitting this club. It reminded me very much of the very first time I hit the TaylorMade P790 irons, which have been among the best performing irons that I've ever tested. They were absolutely fantastic and stood up really well against everything else. So when I was testing this 6 iron, the look is a little bit sleeker, but it's not overly intimidating. I didn't feel like it was an iron that I couldn't play because of its size or its shape or its profile. It was more than easy enough for me to hit, and the numbers I think are actually very good. If you look at that ball speed there, going from 113, 114 mile an hour ball speed for a 6 iron, that's very good for me. Maybe a little sort of more loft than what I would normally expect for a 6 iron. 29 degrees, the 7 iron's 33 degrees. I'm maybe more used to sort of 31, 32 on the 7 iron. So looking at these numbers for the 6 iron, they're absolutely excellent for me. That carry's really good, carrying up to 170 yards, carrying round about 185. These these are absolutely fantastic numbers for me, and as I'm hitting this club, I'm thinking I can play this set of clubs no problem at all. I don't care if these are aimed at a tour player. I'm enjoying them. I think they're forgiving enough. They're, like I say, easy to hit and offering me really good numbers. So that was the launch monitor numbers with a 6 iron. Out here on the course at Moor Allerton, I spent a lot of time hitting some 8 irons, around about 130 yards into quite a stiff breeze, and that was when I started to notice a little bit more difficulty, shall we say. Like when I hit a good shot, it was absolutely fantastic. Sound feels superb, ball, you know, landing really close to the hole, lots of spin, lots of control, absolutely fantastic. But then when I didn't quite catch one, I really knew about it. That sort of feedback, vibrating up my arm when I caught it a little bit thin, made me sort of start to think that, maybe in the shorter irons, they're just, you've got to be very precise. And I guess the better players and the world's best ball strikers are going to be very precise down that sort of end of the bag. They're not going to be too far out of the middle. And I really like what TaylorMade have done here, by building this progressive set with having the sort of compact shorter irons and then maybe the sort of more forgiving, sort of more distance irons in the long irons. But for me personally, I sort of wanted what I was getting in the longer irons right through the set. I kind of want that to go all the way down, and that's why a set like the P790 irons are probably absolutely ideal for me. So that's my feedback. Post any questions below if you want any more information about the testing, if you want to know anything more about this data, if you want to know any more about the SRPs, specs, shafts, all that kind of thing. Post your comments below. But I really want to know what you think about the P760 irons. Do you think you're going to be testing these out, or have I put you up? I hope I haven't, because I'd like you to try them out, at least try them out first and then post your comments below on what you think of them. But I'd be really interested to hear from not just tour players, club golfers, if they think they can play these irons and how they get along with them. So comments below. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.